Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to Atari Flashback Classics, a series of short playthroughs of the 150 games that make up Atari Flashback Classics for Nintendo Switch. Today we go back to where it all started, 1972's Pong, which was Atari's first game. This was created by Alan Alcorn as a training exercise set to him by Nolan Bushnell originally, but his prototype proved so popular with people and so impressive to Atari's co-founders that they decided to put it into full production. As legend has it, the game was based on an electronic tennis game that was part of the Magnavox Odyssey home console, so the first home console. There was a tennis game on that. And in fact, the similarities between Pong and this original tennis game eventually led to a lawsuit and a legal battle over patent infringement. And Bushnell eventually settled out of court, agreeing to become a licensee of Magnavox for $700,000 and also signing over the rights for Atari's products for the next year. Now Atari got round having to do anything with that by simply not releasing any products for a year, which was a bit cheeky, shall we say. Anyway, Alcorn was aware of the original Odyssey game and Bushnell having played it in the first place, but he found it too basic, so he added a bunch of new mechanics and systems to Pong. Probably the most notable of which is the fact that the paddle you control is divided into 8 distinct segments, and wherever the ball hits on the paddle determines how it gets returned. So that's how we get the sort of iconic spin shots and things we get in Pong. And one of the other iconic features is the fact you can't move your paddle all the way to the top or bottom of the screen. And this was actually the result of a circuit defect, but Alcorn felt that it added a bit of difficulty to the game and meant that 2 skilled players wouldn't be playing the game forever, so he decided to leave it in and just not fix the defects at all. So one of Pong's most iconic features is technically a bug. Yeah, so Pong is obviously an incredibly influential game. It's very simple, but still surprisingly addictive and very competitive today. So let's go play Pong.
Alright, it's Pong, baby. Here we go. 1 player. Boop. Do you really need me to explain Pong to you? Because this is Pong. One of the earliest video games there was, and a game that I'm still terrible at. Largely because those bats are absolutely tiny. Yeah, I'm bad at Pong. But, you know, regardless, this remains a classic with good reason, because it's almost the ultimate in simplicity. You can't really get... There was a nice straight shot. Yeah, you can't get much simpler than this, can you? Batting a ball back and forth until one of you scores enough points. But it's simple. It's elegant. It moves incredibly smoothly when you consider the limited tech of the time. And I kind of like the whole aesthetic of it. So, and I'm talking about the whole aesthetic of it, not just the actual on-screen stuff, but the way the rest of it was presented as well. So, the way that the sort of stark black and white visuals of the game screen were contrasted with that vibrant yellow and red on the bezel art and the cabinet itself, gave the whole thing a really distinctive and eye-catching appearance. Yeah, I'm getting absolutely reamed here. There is supposedly some sort of strategy you can use to make a basically unbeatable shot against the computer, but I don't know what it is. So, there we go. 5-11. Not bad for a first attempt, considering I'm terrible at this game. Let's go again. So, if you've not played Pong before, this is a good example of a paddle game. So the original arcade version of this would have had a dial for you to control. For you to use to control your bat, basically. So it allowed you really quick response time, so you could quickly move back and forth from one end of the court to the other. And that's why they had that, because if you just had a joystick, you'd move at a constant rate, like using the D-pad in this port. And you just can't respond as quickly. But the flip side of that is that you need to have a real feather touch. Because the way this port works, and the way most modern ports of Pong work, is that they map the paddle controls to an analog stick. And they basically make it so that if you push straight up on the analog stick, you go one end, and if you push straight down, you go straight to the other end. And then sort of everything in between on the y-axis is the different steps that the original paddle could have taken. And so, handy tip here for those of you who are struggling a bit with these adaptations. What I find is good to do is if you push the analog stick all the way to the left, in this case, you push it all the way to the left and consider that central, and then sort of move around the border of the analog stick, so it's sort of moving around the curve of the indentation that the analog stick sits in. So you're sort of moving in a kind of semicircular motion rather than just trying to go up and down. I find you have much more precise control if you do that. I mean, it's not helping me win, but it is helping me at least stay in control a bit better. Oh, now we're flying. Still not winning, but I've always been kind of interested by sort of the fact that this game actually incorporated semi-convincing physics. Oh, I clearly hit that. Yeah, so it's sort of the way you could hit the ball at different angles and it would fly off in different directions, and sort of you could apply some spin to it by moving as you hit it. The way it accelerated over time to reflect a sort of rally between two people getting more and more intense. Oh dear. Something had to give there, and it wasn't going to be the computer, was it? No, you've done it again, you prick. Unfair. I don't just put it down there. Well, I'm going to sit here, and the computer is going to break. Just let it happen. Let it happen. He's not going to move, is he? He's just going to psych me out. It's fine. This is fine. Does it get any faster than that? Well, I think we're going to be here a while. So, how are you? Hope you had a nice day. It's quite cold here today, but I've still got the window and the fan on because as soon as I shut the curtains and start recording, it gets quite warm in here. And, you know, well, yeah, nothing worse than being sweaty while you're playing games. But, you know, when you're stuck in a bit of a stalemate in Pong, then you need to kind of consider your own well-being, because if you're going to be staying in one place for a while, you don't want to end up with something like deep vein thrombosis or something like that, do you? So make sure to keep moving your legs, maybe stand up, as long as you remember to just keep holding that analog stick down so that your paddle doesn't move, and everything will be fine. And I think I'll have a drink. Just have a quick drink. Ah, that's good. So, this is Pong. It's all very exciting. A thrilling match going on here. And, oh! That wasn't me. That actually wasn't me. He did move eventually. You can psych out the computer. And he still bloody won. I'm disappointed after that. I was hoping I would win after that, but no. Right, one more go. Let's... Oh, why you do this? And move up slightly and see if... there we go. Okay, so if you move up by like a couple of pixels, you can get out of that stalemate. And I recommend you do, otherwise you'll have a very boring time. Uh-oh. I think we found an alternative stalemate, haven't we? Yep. Right, let me just move very slightly. There we go. Oh, excuse me. There's that Coke. So yeah, the more you play Pong, the more you start to spot interesting little quirks like that aren't necessarily an intentional part of the game's programming, but because they're in there, you need appropriate strategies to deal with them. So, I mean, if you're playing against another player, you could feasibly psych them out just by playing the waiting game like I was trying to do before, but at the same time, if you can be super precise with your controls, or more precise than I'm being right now, certainly. Oh, I suck so bad. Then yeah, you can get some impressive shots. No! I don't think I've ever won a game against the computer at Pong. And the computer doesn't play perfectly by any means. You'll notice that the computer moves at a constant speed, so they don't have the facility to quickly zip back and forth across the court like you do. And so a good way of beating the computer is to take advantage of that constant movement speed and send the ball flying off somewhere that they can't feasibly reach at their constant speed. Oh, I suck so bad. One more try. One more. And so, like, if the ball's coming towards you at the bottom of the screen and the computer's down the bottom of the screen, if you can ping it back in such a way that means the computer has to go all the way up to the top of the screen and can't feasibly reach it in the available time, then that's that. So it's one of those games that's sort of deceptively simple, but the more you play, the more it becomes clear that there's actually plenty of strategies available to explore. So it's like anything really, isn't it? Like if you think of like your average sports and things, like most sports aren't super complicated in terms of their basic rules. But it's in the application of those rules and in sort of ways of outwitting your opponent that the games become a lot more interesting. And the same is true for computer games too. So because Pong is so simple, it can get incredibly competitive because anyone can understand how to play this game, but not everyone can be good at it. Because there's a combination of skill and strategy going on here that you need to really nail that sweet spot of before you can succeed. And it's quite nice. Even in this short session we're playing here, I'm actually feeling like I'm improving, both in terms of my accuracy of handling these controls. Oh, that was poor. That went right over me, though. Both in terms of my accuracy of handling the controls and of actually being able to lose against the computer, apparently. No, actually make sensible shots against the computer that are more likely to score me points. Oh, nice. Ace. Another ace. Well, if I win... Oh. That was disappointing. I was hoping I was going to win entirely through aces then, although that would have felt like a fairly hollow victory, I won't lie. Oh, go on, get him. Oh, one more. Can I win? Can I win? That would be a lovely way to finish this video. I'm not going to win, because things like that happen. Oh, no! Oh, come on. Come on. The pressure's on. The pressure is on. I can't take it! I won! I won a game of Pong! I'm so happy. I'm very happy. I'm actually very pleased with that, especially with it being as close as it was. Alright, so that's Pong. One of the earliest video games ever to exist. Let's sit back and be humbled by that for a moment. Alright, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please help out the channel by leaving a like or a comment and subscribing. New episodes of Atari A to Z are on Tuesdays and Atari ST A to Z on Thursdays. Check out atariatoz.wordpress.com for a full archive. Do please also check out my other projects moegamer.net, where I explore Japanese and Japanese-inspired games from yesterday and today, and videopackgames.wordpress.com, which aims to catalogue the small but well-formed library of the Philips G7000 Videopack computer, also known as the Magnavox Odyssey 2. You can also support my work on Patreon or buy me a coffee. You can find links to do both down in the video description. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.